So yeah, this is like the full extent of my vlogging skills, so don't expect this to be a good video. Not even in the least bit. So I guess we should begin where this all kind of started out, and that was me finishing all of the videos that I needed to finish and actually driving out to go see my mom. I don't think I've actually taken a legitimate vacation in a long time, and the few days before and the few days after were really a time period for me to just chill out for a minute. And it kind of reminded me of the fact that I get a little bit disconnected when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, when it comes to all that, because you realize that the world keeps turning even though you are, like, you know, in your own space doing things. People are growing up and things are happening behind your back and you don't realize it.
Is it right or wrong?
Mom, can you demonstrate the whip noise again, please?
Are you recording?
Can you demonstrate the whip? One more time. Now, while new pets and reconnecting with family is amazing, the food was the most important part. Now, there is this sushi place in town that I absolutely go apeshit over. It was my favorite when I was living there, and I used to eat it like at least once or twice a week because it was so goddamn good. And now, we just don't have anything in my area that is as good as this place. Now, one of the interesting things that I think I want to like laugh about a little bit here is there's this weird disconnect when it comes to like the Warframe world and everything that happens online and kind of like the big grandiose stuff of being on the TennoCon panel stage, you know, and doing autograph signings and all that. But your ass still has to take the shuttle because your mom doesn't want to drive you to the airport. I was like, you hooker whore, damn it, you need to drive me. And she's like, baby, you take the shuttle. I don't like driving that far. But admittedly, the shuttle ride was almost this weird, isolated experience of pulling away from everything, that I knew was gonna happen. Like, you know, it was this odd moment of like silence, and I have to admit that it was kind of nice and kind of tranquil and kind of calming. Now, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I am an early airport person. I need to be at the airport at least like 4 hours early. It's just a part of me that is very like anxious, and I want to go get in there without a hitch and not have to rush and not have to stress. So you damn well know that with a couple extra hours and some airport Wi-Fi, that my ass was gonna do a little bit of a live stream. It's weird, like when I let it grow super long, when I let my hair grow super long, it became wavy all of a sudden, which is something that I'd wished for all my life. I'd always wanted wavy hair, and I ended up getting it by magic. Listen, all you have to do is believe in Jesus, and Jesus will give you wavy hair. You just believe strong enough and pray hard enough, and then your hair will become wavy because Jesus says so. Of course, until there was this strange man that appeared behind me during the stream, just kind of watching. So I took a red eye, and for those of you guys who have no clue what that means, basically you leave really, really late at night so that you can get into town pretty early in the morning. So it was nice because of the fact that there was nobody sitting next to me and there was nobody sitting in front of me, so, you know, I could stretch out my legs, I could get some rest. It was just all pretty chill, and it was gorgeous, as always. Now, the next morning on my connecting flight, I actually ran into MCIK, and it was fantastic because I had someone to talk to, but at the same time, I was exhausted, I was looking bloated, I had no makeup on my face, I looked an absolute wreck, to the point where I don't even think I want to include the clip, it was so bad. Now, unfortunately, me and Cole were not on the same flight, so that is kind of like where we had to part ways. However, I was greeted at the airport by Michelle from the Next Level Gaming and the one and only Greats himself, the little puppy corgi commander. Of course, after that, we hopped into our cabs and we went on over to the hotel. Now, the coolest thing is my check-in time was like 3 p.m. It was only like 11 something, so getting there and having them be like, oh yeah, by the way, your room's ready. I was like, oh, thank freaking God. And DE this year like outdid themselves. If you had talked to me at any point during the con and I talked about going back, I tended to refer to it as my apartment. And legitimately, when I say it was like my apartment, I literally mean it was like an apartment. It had a full-on kitchen, of course bathroom and all of that kind of stuff. It had a living room with a big screen TV. It had like a little office area. It was kind of crazy. And having all of that space was definitely handy because there were a lot of facials to be had. There was a lot of late night live streaming that occurred. And there was just like a lot of hanging out, which I was really happy about because it was kind of like inviting friends over to my place.
Absolutely.
So really good.
Absolutely, you don't have a cup.
I don't.
But I'd cheer with you.
Cheers.
But
This?
you guys have to fucking.
And yes, these motherfuckers are coming to my room at like 1 in the morning the day before I leave, but I could not say no, mainly because of it's gonna be terrible if I don't try to squeeze out every single moment that I got with these people. And I feel really bad because Connor was in room 301 and I was in room 302. And there was a couple times when I completely forgot my room number and I kept sending everybody over to his room and I was like, where are you guys? They're like, we're at your room, and I was like, no you're not, I haven't heard you knocking. And then I like go and check out in the little peephole and they're knocking on Hydroxate's room and not mine. Alright, so all of that aside, let's actually go ahead and talk about the con itself. We got into the con early and we got to kind of like see the place all emptied out. And it was fantastic because, again, we'd been there the year before and it was nice the year before, but this year they did it even bigger. Not only did we have the upper floor, we had the downstairs floor for like meet and greets, and there's like an there's like an archery thing over to the side that later in the day was just like packed. I was like, oh my god, it was absolutely insane. Speaking of little events too, there was the escape room that we got to do, and that was super fun. However, it was hilarious because as like, you know, YouTubers and all of that kind of stuff, we had a pretty tight schedule. So as you guys can see here, I stole Moku's ticket, which was the exact same as mine. But we had to be in certain places at certain times, and I was like, okay, we have this sliver of time to like get to the trap room. And TennoCon, who was absolutely amazing, actually like rescheduled us like 4 times because of the fact that we're like, well, I can't make it at that time. Can we make it at this time? Can we do it at that time? But we finally made it, and the escape room was absolutely fantastic. Hold on, I do have a story about getting into the con. Let me tell you this. So when the lady at the front was like looking our bags, checking to make sure that we're not bringing in any concealed weapons, she like literally we got through everything, and as I was walking, she was like, what's that? And the thing is, I had something very special with me that I didn't realize. So she pointed to my back pocket, and I quickly went behind my back pocket and handed her my silver thong. That's right. I was like, oh, it's a silver thong. Here you go. I was like, you want to check it? And she just looked at it like, I'm good. I'm good. But it was definitely one of the highlights, and it was really cool because it was kind of like one of those weird things that came from the internet into real life, such as these terrifying things. Oh my god, can I just tell you, I saw them in Angry Joe's video. I was like, no, that's my face! Get it out of his video! I don't want that there! There are actually 9 of these in total during the con floating around. I got my hands on 2, I signed a couple of them, and they were absolutely hilarious. So, you know who you are, who made these things. Shame on you. Shame on you for making them and distributing them. That is, that's not fair use of my face, okay? Not fair use. Shit, that's copyrighted. It's copyright infringement of my face. I felt really bad because it was hard for me to try to be able to connect to every single person out there. I felt like I was always kind of on a bit of a time crunch. Like, there's always a place for me to go. There's always things that I had to do. Not in any kind of bad way. Like, I enjoyed doing everything, but there's so much to do. It was just kind of sad because I didn't get to hang out with everybody. The event itself was amazing. Like, I loved the panel was fantastic. Megan did an amazing job.
Hopefully my questions will be better than last year's. If you guys don't know, that hour-long panel, I ran out of questions in 10 minutes. And I stood here and asked them random questions that I thought of in my head. It was very, very panicky. And thank you, Navi, thank you. And secondly, please be warned that this is a rated M game, and I can't control what Rob says.
Now, admittedly, I did not take any kind of footage from the after parties, and that's mainly because of the fact that there's a lot of people there that have alcohol in them, that are saying things that maybe they shouldn't say, revealing things about things that they maybe shouldn't reveal, and it's kind of like unfair, you know, to go, it's like human data mining. It's like, listen, we already did that. We're not going to do that with human beings. I was actually late to the after party because we had a couple things that we had to take care of. So we might have to go in a second, but legitimately, we were shook by the TennoCon reveal. I don't know if you guys were.
What did you guys think
Excalibur.
of that? Yep,
we knew it was going to happen. We knew it was the thing that was going to happen.
No doubt.
It's insane. We literally watched it and my jaw was dropped. When I was there, everything was packed and everybody was already drunk. But I got onion rings and a burger, so I was happy, and I got Mokamu's burger after the fact as well, and you better believe I ate it! So I think after everything was said and done, TennoCon was an amazing experience. It was awesome getting to see everybody, all of the pictures, all of the people. I think the only thing that I kind of took away from it is I wish we just had more time. It's hard to not be able to see everybody and then realize as the day goes on, I haven't gotten a chat with person X, person Y, and person Z. It's almost kind of like anxiety ridden. It's like you spend your day and you're like, oh, I had so much fun, but you also have all of these regrets because you didn't get to hang out with the people that you wanted to hang out with. And it's not that you didn't want to hang out with the people that you were hanging out with, it's that you wanted to hang out with everybody. Now, the ending of TennoCon was definitely bittersweet just because of the fact that I think that we all wished for more time, and I think that nobody said it better than Michelle. I wish that I could stay here in London longer, but the longer that I stay here, the more obvious it is that TennoCon is over and done. And that's the thing, it's such a fleeting experience, it's literally just one day. As YouTubers and as streamers, sometimes it can feel a little isolating. You're like in a room just recording, or maybe you're just chatting with chat, but it never really feels like you're interacting with people. But when you get to TennoCon, it's like all of the love that was in your community is like being poured into you at once, and it feels absolutely amazing and absolutely empowering. I think that's pretty much it. Kind of like this video. It came and went and it's done, and I should stop rambling. However, there is something that I did want to share with you guys. There's actually a bit of a giveaway that comes with listening to this crazy, ridiculous video. DE has actually given us 2,500 plats to kind of dole out to you guys as we see fit, so I figured why not go ahead and do a little bit of a division to spread the love. So I'm thinking 10 winners of 250 plat across all platforms, so don't worry if you're Xbox, PC, or PS4, just go ahead and leave your, I guess I'm gonna say IGN. I don't know how it works for PS4 players and Xbox players. I think it's like gamer tag or gamer ID or whatever it is, but if you're on PC, it's your IGN. And let me know, number one, if you were at the con, number two, or not, if you're at the con or not, and number 2, let me know what you guys would like to see next year for TennoCon 2018, because there's a whole lot of possibilities. Like, this year was fantastic. Next year, they're gonna make it even better, because that's kind of like what DE does. They always just build upon and just make things more and more incredible each and every single time. So leave that in the comments below, and yeah, hopefully you can win yourself some Plat. Once again, thank you all for your support and love, whether you were at the con cheering for me on the YouTuber panel or you were at home watching and screaming your guts out when you saw all of the crazy landscapes that are going to be open and available to us. It doesn't even matter. Just as long as you're putting the good positive feels out there, I highly appreciate it. So I guess that brings this to an end. So, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!